Podcast. We back, the Hooker and Mac show. You see me here with my mask on, Mac.
You ready to rock and roll, man?
Yeah, man. We're gonna go unscripted today. We're gonna go down some areas where we don't go. We're gonna talk about life on social media. We're gonna talk about DJs calling people out, and telling people that they dirty. I don't know where that comes from, but we just gonna go in, Matt. It's been a while since we been on the air. And for all you Mac fans, you see with my mask on, so go ahead and talk junk. But you need to talk junk to Mac because he might be in Belize one day. He might be in he might be somewhere else. Who knows where he's at? But what's been going on, Mac?
Man, not much, man. Just living and working a lot. Like you said, traveling. I'm always trying to see the world,
where you been? I gotta check your credentials.
I ain't been nowhere far this time. I just went to Puerto Rico for a few days.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
How was Puerto Rico, man?
It was pretty good, man. Got a chance to enjoy the food, the music, and have a good time. Unfortunately, they recently just got hit by that hurricane.
Yeah.
So I was glad I was able to see that several weeks ago before all of that happened. Certainly prayers out to the people on that island. Man, they just got devastated 5 years ago, and then they got hit again. So that's about the only place I've gone,
You sure? Is that up under the
anything
sun?
That's worth talking about? The rest of the stuff,
worth talking about.
The rest of the stuff ain't really, the typical stuff in the
how you do.
Southeast,
You
man.
might end up on a golf course with Idris Elba. You might be hanging with T.I. T.I. He done, that boy done gone crazy.
T.I. doing his little comedy thing now, man. What you think about it?
Come on, Mac. Comedy, really?
I'm a T.I. fan, man, in terms of his music. I don't know about the comedy. I'm still trying to get my feel for it.
Didn't one of his sons got locked up?
Yeah, the report was out, and they had the mug shot of King.
Yeah, that was a crazy
but you could kind of see some of that coming, because King was always rowdy, even when, you see him on the show.
Yeah, he was ruthless.
Yeah.
When you see him in the show, but, but this comedy thing with T.I., I don't know.
But I gotta give it up. I mean, for the most part, man, from what I've seen, certainly I'm on the outside and I don't know T.I., I never met him. Look like he's doing a good job raising his kids. I mean, from what I can see. Yeah. But no parent is without any problems, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We all go through.
He's not excluded from that,
Yeah, but he basically came out and said, he got in trouble. He told him about, him acting up and stuff like that. Certainly, he's not giving him any perks just because he's, that's his son. So I definitely see that. I mean, growing up, of course, if your dad's a celebrity, you would think that you can get away with stuff, but
life got to be different, though.
It does, man. Can you just imagine like what that would look like?
Yeah, I try to sometime, but I'm sure that I still, even in my imagination, can't really understand or fathom some of the things they go through, good and bad. Because I mean, there are pros and cons to having a celebrity parent. So.
And what's your boy? Is his name Orlando Brown, the one that looked?
Man, you talking about something crazy?
You heard what he said about Puff Daddy? Puff Daddy gave him the new nah. What does that sound like to you, man?
Man, listen. Orlando say so. Okay, he say some wild stuff. Most of the time, I'm like, yo, he sound like he off his rockers.
I think he needs some medication.
The stuff he said about Kevin Gates, I was in agreement with him though.
What did he say about Kevin Gates?
I mean, Kevin Gates was on there talking about how he slept with his cousin.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and Orlando called him crazy. He said, y'all call me crazy. He said, do y'all understand how crazy that sound? I was like,
yeah,
I gotta agree with him on that. Like, that sounds crazy. He like bragging about hitting his cousin. Like, what is that?
That's crazy, but when he said, Puff Daddy gave me the goo goo gaga, what does this sound like?
I have no idea, and I'm not going to speculate on that.
I'm just trying to say, the shiny suit man is out here, doing stuff that, but when he said that, Mac, I had to look for a minute and say, what is he really saying? Like, I mean, you was just on, what show was he on as a kid?
That's So Raven.
That's it.
No, he was on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he was on a lot of stuff. Yeah, But what else you got in your caveat?
Man, just thinking about some of the stuff that's been happening in the hip hop news lately. A lot of the young hip hop artists been getting killed. Like, that's just crazy. Not that hip hop artists haven't died before. That come from more the era that you and I identify with.
Right.
But it seems like it's happening with more frequency here lately. So just kind of sad that that's the state of hip hop right now. You know, I hope some things change. I don't know if social media plays a role in that. I know that was the big thing with the last guy who died, saying that his girlfriend kept posting stuff.
Yeah.
And as a result, that it put them on Front Street for where they were, and then that turned into a robbery / murder.
You talking about PNB?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
sad,
saying that you know, that she, you know, put on there where she was, you know, I guess where they were eating the steak or whatever. But you know, growing up in California, I know where Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle is, and it's in the hood.
Okay, so they went to the hood.
Well,
He went to the hood with all his jewelry on.
Yeah, so when you go up in there, it's, you know, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle on the inside, Mac, it's relatively small. It's not.
Okay.
It's not huge. So, what can I relate it to around here? It's like
a Waffle House.
Yeah, it's like a
small
Waffle
like
House.
that.
Yeah, small like that. Now they got some banging food. I will say that.
Okay.
But also, Mac, that's where a lot of celebrities go and eat. You know, I remember when, you know, growing up as a kid, you know, when I graduated from high school, I went up in there and LL was in there eating. You know, you just walk any time of day. I think like people like David Chappelle, James Earl Jones went there, and so when you go in there, I mean, it's like you're at home in your mom's kitchen. You know, it's the way the aura is. So you can order a number 9 but him going in there, I don't know if someone necessarily knew him. You know, when he was in there, because he's in there with his jewelry. From what the report said, he was in there, you know, off last out. And I don't know. I got to research the story, but they were saying that it was somebody sitting at a table, I guess
with a hoodie on.
With a hoodie on, and
ran up on him.
Ran up on him. That's what the report said, but I don't know if that's you know, accurate.
Yeah, that's just so unfortunate, man. Like, to lose your life over some jewelry, if that's exactly what it was, or lose your life for any reason, man. It's just a sad situation. Like, these young men never even get to see the age of 40 or 50 or 60. They never get a chance to see their kids, you know, get older, and for their kids to have wonderful lives, man. So,
you know, but what is it that that needs to change? I mean, it's all talking about popping pills and mollies and things like that, but if they're, you know, living, if they don't live like that, but then they decide to, I mean, I'm agree with you. It's just too many of these young cats who may, you know, potentially down the road, you know, they may have a following, but, you know, they end up knocked off the earth for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot that can be done. I guess the first thing I think about is just helping some of our younger people understand the value of life, you know, more. And certainly I think that starts at home, with parents or whoever your guardian is, or, you know, an influential aunt or uncle or cousin or whatever. That's what I would like to see. I mean, even if, because I understand that males are going to have conflict. Like, that's just something that comes with being a stereotypical male.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, there used to be a time where you could have a conflict. You might even have some fisticuffs. But you had the fisticuffs, and then people went their own ways. And then, as they said in the movie Friday, you live to fight another day.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not what it is now. It's more like some people have beef, and then they immediately go to the guns, and somebody's mama's, you know, dressed in black in the funeral home, in the church. So
I remember, you know,
it's just bad, man.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, like you said, you have beef with somebody, you know, you put your fist up, it's over.
Yeah.
Even like I said, when I was in high school, was the same way. So, and then when that person stepped to you the next time, they like, oh yeah, he nice with them knuckles. I'm just being, I mean, real. But now, you know, everybody wants to pack. I mean, I'm all for you protecting yourself, but just taking somebody out, just for something that's petty is just just ridiculous. And I can't even believe we're seeing the whole slew of rappers. It seems like every other week or every month somebody is dying for some for some reason. And it's just it's just that culture. But I do know that some of these record companies are taking insurance policy out of these rappers.
I was waiting for you to get to that part, and that's crazy.
So they're protecting their investment.
Yeah, $1 million investment. Insurance. Yeah, sometimes it feeds into some of those conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
And that's a little tricky if you're thinking about getting into the rap game. Like, are they taking insurance policy out on me?
Right.
Because they really plan to kill me later? Like, that's wild, man. That's wild.
That's wild. But slipping into the rap scene or rap era. This DJ Akademiks, and I'm gonna just call him out. LL didn't want to call him out, but I'm gonna call him out. He basically said that the old school heads, the pioneers, if they're not making money, they dusty. So DJ Akademiks, what do you describe as dusty? You a DJ, and so I think you going down a rabbit hole where he gonna get stuck. I mean, LL, that's the first time, because LL was like, I don't go live that much, and I don't want to call no names out. He went in on him by saying, hey, the pioneers are responsible for where we are
Jay
now.
basically said that a lot of the pioneers in hip hop are, they're dusty, or how can they be the person that invented hip hop if they don't have a lot of money, or if they don't look or represent like they have a lot of dough, right? Let me explain something to you, and say this for you guys. Don't confuse someone's ability to develop a business model. Don't conflate. In other words, don't think just because somebody knows how to get money or fails to get money that they didn't make a contribution to the culture.
Yeah. So, and he was saying that if you're not making money, you're not relevant. Now,
wow, I haven't seen or heard
you should watch
either.
it,
But you said DJ who?
DJ Akademiks. He came
DJ
around
Akademiks,
the
okay.
90s. But I'm saying if you're not making money, you're not relevant, and you shouldn't be talking about the culture. Now, Mac, that's, he's basically calling people out without calling them out. Like, you talking about Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Breakers, breakdancing, Boogaloo Shrimp and all those people. What is he talking about?
It sounds like he approaching things from a typical capitalist point of view. Like, everything has to be about earning funds, but certainly not paying respect to the people who paved the road that you now ride on, which is terrible when you really think about it. Like, you wouldn't even be able to make the money that you make as a DJ with this particular genre of music had those people not created it and then paved the way. And when people told them that this music won't last longer than 5 years, that it did last longer than 5 years and became a multi-billion-dollar industry.
And that's what LL was saying. He was saying that, back then you didn't have no manager. You didn't have when hip hop was at its, not at its lowest point when it was just starting, you didn't have all those things. Record companies wasn't investing in it. But then when you had the Cool Hercs, you know, the Fat Boys, the early pioneers, Curtis Blow. Then all of a sudden, and you know how it goes, if it's a corporate system, then they finally say, well, let me throw some money in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what LL was saying is that, remember, we didn't have all that. And he did say, which I like, he said, the newer artists, he basically said that he's very fond of them. He wants to promote them. But what he was saying is that if you don't make any money, then you have no business. And I was just at the barbershop.
Talk about it.
I was at Cliff's barbershop, and they basically said that since LL is not rapping anymore, he's irrelevant.
Nah, that's funny. Nah, it will always be relevant. Just because I consider him one of the true pioneers. Like, anybody that was making money doing hip hop from the 80s back to the 70s, I consider them part of the pioneers. Because that's when it really wasn't popular. Like, nobody was playing, like, it was a big deal to have a rap video. Like, there were only a few people who had that back then.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about mid to early 80s when L was out there doing it.
And not only that, before you move on, so we pulled up in the barbershop, the top 80 artists, and guess who was at the top?
L.
LL.
Yeah.
And guess who was at the bottom?
Kumo D.
Tone Loc.
Tone Loc was at the bottom?
Yeah, he was at the bottom. And so I said, so if he doesn't have the skill set, then why is he at the top? Now they had him above Rakim. They had KRS-One, they had MC Shan, they had all the artists from the 80s, and they had LL at the top. And
what was this ranking system that you saw at?
it was on one of these websites.
Okay.
They was rating the top artists in the 80s, and LL was at the top. Now, if you're talking about, if he's going at people like in the 70s, then, you talking about Sugar Hill Gang and all those groups. But still, if it wasn't for them having those block parties and, like Kool Herc in the inner city, what would you have?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you see him beefing with Martin?
Oh,
Kid Capri?
He beefing with Martin, but thing is,
yeah,
you wouldn't have a Def Comedy Jam if you didn't have Kid Capri on there.
Yeah, Kid Capri definitely helped Def Comedy Jam stand out, but he was beefing with Martin because Kid Capri said he was the one that wrote the theme song to Martin, and then Martin turned around and said someone else wrote it.
Really?
And he said, how you gonna do me like that as if I didn't write it? So yeah, they kind of beefing right now, man.
Oh wow, I like that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, what? If he did write it, why would Martin do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of Martin, we rolling here, so there's a post out there that was sent from Yasmin about the reemergence of House Party.
Oh, they doing another house party?
Yeah, and it's gonna be produced
with
by
Kid and Play in it and Martin.
I don't know about Martin, but Kid and Play is supposed to be in it.
Okay.
Kid and Play is supposed to be in it, and I think LeBron James is supposed to be executive producer on there, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, do we really want to see that, Mac?
They said. Did y'all see any other house party?
Yeah, I seen them.
You seen house party? You seen them? Okay.
At the third one.
Yeah.
The third one that was with Immature in it, right? Weren't they in one of those house
third one was
parties?
Immature.
That was the third one.
That was the third one.
But we talking about the first one.
Bernie Mac and
We talking about
Yeah.
the first one with your boy, one of my favorite comedians, God rest his soul. What is his name? Robin Harris.
Robin Harris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow the drip.
Follow the drip. I knew
Yeah.
you was in. What's your name? I mean, come on now. Do we really want to?
It'll be
Do we really want
interesting.
to mess that up? Because I think that.
Like
no
they messed
knock-
up Coming to America when they remade that one.
Yeah, not to knock Kid and Play, but leave it where it is.
Hey man, Play right down the street. He live in Durham.
Yeah,
Durham.
but
I'm
do
sorry.
you really want to see a remake of that? I mean, Martin was funny. I mean, like he said, about his breath, and I told you to not stand close to the table.
Yeah, I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it.
And then you
It
got
depends on what the script is gonna be. I mean, them dudes is old looking now. Oh man, I'm probably gonna get killed for saying that, huh? But You seen them, man.
But the impact.
They gonna have a house party and they like
Yeah, but
50 something.
I guess, but also what I'm talking about is
I'm just saying, like, what's gonna be the plot here?
I'm not sure.
He's still getting a whip going in the band because he.
Hey,
50 something.
kid, play. If you're watching this, holler at me, man. We might need to talk about. But what I'm saying is, a movie like House Party, when it first came out, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to put, my pajamas on and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, you had full force in there. People forget about George Clinton was in the movie Tears in the
He
Bucket.
was.
So let's go to the stage. You remember him saying that? Yeah. So, and that was the first time, Ezel was in there. Boy, I know you was in here.
Tisha Campbell
was in there. Yep, and your boy, the one that's in the wheelchair.
I always forget his name.
Will or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, what is it? Bow-legged Lou was saying, "We're gonna kick them out." The dance battles was hot. Yeah.
Maybe they can still dance though. Okay, here's the plot. No, check it out. Check it out.
Give me the plot.
Maybe they are parents of kids who throw a house party, and they are the ones that go out of town, and then they come back and find out that their kids is having a house party. They want to get mad, but then they remember that they did it, and then. I don't know, maybe they join in, and then they have a battle between new school dancers and the old school, and maybe the new school people.
You hear that play, he's telling you, hear that kid, he's giving you
Hey, I'm just saying, I can see that. You get the new school dancers versus the old school. I can see something like that happen.
So when you think about House Party, what is your greatest scene? Don't forget about your boy was in there too. Public Enemy.
John Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon.
Favorite scene
go ahead.
House Party?
Remember you said, go ahead and dance with your...
It's probably when old boy was running from the big dude. Yeah, when he dropped old girl off in the projects. Yeah. That was probably my favorite scene.
My favorite scene was Robin Harris was like, he said, why you stopping me? He said, you stopping the black man on a black block in some neighborhood, he said, he said something about I'm gonna whoop your butt or something like that. He said Roy Aronofsky. I mean, come on now, you gonna mess that up, Matt?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, House Party is just. I mean, I get it that they're trying to resurface, but just leave it alone.
Hey, you never know where people are. Maybe they need the money. You know who's in Boys in the Hood that's in the news right now?
Who?
Nia Long.
Who's she in the news for? Why is she in the news?
Because her fiance / husband, I don't know what he is. I know she's been dating him for 10 years. They got
you talking about your boy from the Celtics?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a little
improper relationship with an employee.
Yeah.
Everybody talking about J. Cole, and all the women that J. Cole has mentioned in his songs all have some kind of issue.
Did he mention Nia Long in his
Yeah. He said, if I was just basically a little older, he said, my only regret, I was too what? Too young for who? For Lisa Bonet, and then he said too young for what? For Nia Long.
Wow.
Lisa Bonet what? Split.
Yep.
Nia Long, now she dealing with this issue. And then he said something, it was another person too, it was another lady that he said something about. He said something about Jada once in one of his records.
Really? We don't want to talk about Jada right now.
I was like, if you end up in a Cole record, then that must mean you're gonna end up having some problems. What Cole doing on the low? Somebody tell me what Cole doing on the low.
Doing something. He's sneaking up in the movie theater.
He the real entanglement.
Yeah, he the real entanglement. Mac, as we've talked about many things today, especially that Nia Long, man. That was the tip of the iceberg. I didn't even know that, But anyway, Mac, as we always do, man, there's a funny side to our show, but we always drop those nuggets. So, man, what's in your bag today?
Yeah, I was listening to someone the other day, and they were talking about power, and it got me reflecting on what should we do with that, and then I started thinking about purpose, and power without purpose is pointless. More specifically, power without positive purpose is pointless. because if you don't know what your purpose is, you can often take that power and use it in the wrong way and negatively impact your life and others. So find your purpose, whoever you are, and use it for a positive reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Well spoken. Power without a purpose. You heard it on Digging in the Crates Hip Hop Podcast. Again, if you follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. Very well put, Mac. Power with a purpose. And I am your co-host, the Hip Hop Wizard, and my co-host,
Dr. Mac.
and we out.
All right. Oh, that's country.
Yeah.
It remind me of Bustin' them back in the day.
They not tried. Scenario?
Oh, they made the
Scenario beat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
You can tell Q-Tip production by the drums. He taught you like an actual drum set.
Literally.
Where they from?
Who?
Coast to country. Yeah, I can understand that.
Not only.
I can't understand 1, 2, 3.